In a dramatic escalation of technological warfare in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, a massive explosion rocked the Crimea Bridge in the early hours of dawn. The cause? A Ukrainian underwater drone named Marichka, a stealthy, torpedo-shaped unmanned weapon capable of operating below the surface for long distances. This marks the first confirmed strike involving a Ukrainian submersible drone against one of Russia's most symbolically and strategically important structures. The Kerch Bridge, often referred to as the Crimea Bridge, is a 19-kilometer-long structure connecting mainland Russia to the annexed Crimean Peninsula. Constructed after Russia's 2014 seizure of Crimea, it stands as both a practical supply route and a propaganda centerpiece for the Kremlin. It carries road and rail traffic and has been used heavily to funnel military equipment and reinforcements to Russian forces operating in southern Ukraine. It has long been a target of the Ukrainian armed forces, not only for its logistical value but also for its deep political significance. Damaging or destroying the bridge is seen in Kiev as striking at the heart of Putin's narrative that Crimea is forever Russian. The Marichka drone is a relatively new addition to Ukraine's expanding arsenal of unmanned vehicles. Unlike surface-sea drones like the Magura V5 that have made headlines in prior months, Marichka operates beneath the surface, making it harder to detect or destroy. Details about the drone's full capabilities remain classified, but based on available intelligence and leaked specs, Marichka is believed to be 6 meters in length, powered by electric propulsion, capable of carrying 200 kilograms of explosives, remote or pre-programmed navigation, operational range of 1,000 plus km. The use of such technology illustrates Ukraine's rapidly evolving asymmetric warfare strategies. Facing a numerically and technologically superior enemy, Ukraine has turned to innovation, leveraging unmanned systems to offset disadvantages. According to Ukrainian intelligence sources, the Marichka drone was launched from an undisclosed point on the Black Sea coastline, likely from the Odessa or Mykolaiv region. Guided beneath the surface and evading Russian sonar detection, the drone took several hours to make its way across open water. At approximately 4:17 a.m. local time, seismic sensors in the region recorded a sharp underwater detonation beneath one of the bridge's support columns. Surveillance footage and satellite images later confirmed that a section of the bridge had suffered a significant structural blow, with partial collapse of the rail support and major buckling on the roadway above. The Russian Ministry of Defense initially downplayed the blast, referring to it as a minor incident caused by a maritime accident. However, amateur footage and independent OSINT, open-source intelligence, sources quickly debunked this narrative. Within hours, Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate, GUR, acknowledged the operation, stating, "This was a message, both to Moscow and to the people of Crimea, that no illegal structure or occupation can withstand the will and ingenuity of a free Ukraine." The attack on the Crimea Bridge using an underwater drone has several major implications for the war's trajectory. 1. Psychological warfare for Russians living in Crimea or mainland Russia. The notion that even underwater attacks are now possible is terrifying. The bridge was thought to be heavily fortified with anti-drone systems, sonar arrays, and constant patrols. The fact that Marichka penetrated these defenses shows that nowhere is safe. 2. Supply line disruption. The bridge is a key artery for moving military supplies, fuel, and reinforcements to Crimea and further into southern Ukraine. Disrupting or destroying it forces Russia to depend on less efficient and more vulnerable logistics, such as ferries or the land route through occupied southern Ukraine. 3. Technological escalation. The strike signals that Ukraine's innovation in unmanned warfare is reaching new dimensions, from the skies to the seas to now beneath the waves. With Western support, particularly in AI and electronics, these systems are only going to get smarter, stealthier, and deadlier. 4. Redefining naval power. Traditional navies are built around large ships, aircraft carriers, and submarines. But what Ukraine is doing is pioneering a new kind of naval doctrine, one that's decentralized, cheaper, and packed with expendable autonomous drones. It's a future-focused way of fighting wars, and Russia has been caught flat-footed. While the Kremlin publicly maintains that the damage was superficial, satellite data, and leaked internal memos suggest panic behind the scenes. Russian forces have reportedly begun reinforcing bridge defenses, increasing sonar surveillance, and deploying anti-submersible netting. Furthermore, Moscow has hinted that retaliatory strikes are being considered, although Ukraine has stated that such threats will not deter its defense operations. Russian state media has also launched a propaganda blitz, trying to downplay the damage and portray Ukrainian drone use as reckless or terroristic. But with every drone strike, especially high-profile ones like this, the narrative slips further from Russia's control. Beyond the strategy and tactics, this strike carries deep human and emotional meaning. For Ukrainians, the bridge is a scar, a painful symbol of occupation. Many Crimeans themselves, living under Russian control since 2014, see it as a barrier between them and the nation they once belonged to. A young Ukrainian soldier, speaking anonymously, said, "We've been fighting with blood and bodies, now we fight with brains and code. This bridge was built to separate us from our land. We're breaking it down, piece by piece." Families who fled Crimea in 2014 celebrated the blast as a symbol of hope, a reminder that Crimea is not forgotten, and that one day, they may return home. The international community has watched the escalation with mixed feelings. NATO countries, while not officially endorsing the strike, have praised Ukraine's ingenuity. U.S. intelligence officials have confirmed that Ukraine developed and launched the Marichka drone without direct Western involvement, though it's likely that AI algorithms, guidance systems, or materials may have had foreign origins. Meanwhile, neutral nations and UN officials have expressed concern over the rising use of autonomous weapons in warfare, especially underwater systems that are harder to regulate. Still, Ukraine insists that its use of drones adheres to international laws of armed conflict. With the successful deployment of the Marichka underwater drone, Ukraine has opened a new front in its war for liberation. Experts expect that more strikes, possibly against Russian naval assets, oil infrastructure, or seaborne supply convoys, may follow. It's also likely that Ukraine will continue to refine its underwater drone program, incorporating AI target recognition, swarm tactics, and longer endurance. If one Marichka can deliver this kind of strategic shock, what happens when a dozen are launched simultaneously? For Russia, this presents a nightmare scenario. Their Black Sea fleet has already retreated to safer waters, and now even those are not beyond reach. The era of drone warfare is no longer coming, it's here. The strike on the Crimea Bridge using the Marichka underwater drone is more than just a military success. It's a message, a testament to Ukraine's unyielding spirit, its technological ingenuity, and its refusal to accept the status quo. As the war drags on, Ukraine is demonstrating that it will not fight only with soldiers and shells but also with software, circuitry, and bold ideas. With every innovation, it chips away at Russia's grip and inspires freedom-loving people around the world. If you found this article insightful and want more in-depth breakdowns on cutting-edge warfare, tech developments, and global conflict updates, don't miss out. Subscribe now to stay ahead of the curve. Join a growing community of readers who believe in truth, strategy, and stories that matter.